All right, let's talk about one of the most unpopular things in Wing Chun, and that is going to be, or it's the most popular, excuse me, but it's going to be one of the most unpopular streams of thoughts when it comes to your training, and that's the Ip Man videos. So I'm going to be going over something that I think is it's going to be unpopular with a lot of Wing Chun purists, and I do believe that it's going to be something that's going to get you in trouble if you adhere to the ideology of fantasy Wing Chun. Now I'm gonna state off the bat. Now I heard fantasy Fu for the first time from Light Burley when I heard him say that. I went, oh my gosh, that's a great phrase, and I've adopted this fantasy Fu. There's the Wing Chun or the Kung Fu that we love seeing in the movies, right? A lot of us grew up on the movies from the 70s and whatnot. I mean, Quentin Tarantino obviously was massively influenced by those in his films. Kill Bill Volume 1 is one of my favorite movies. It's from Quentin Tarantino. There's a lot of the mysticism from the East that in the West we love. We just absolutely love it. And there is some authenticity in it. I mean, when you see those monks doing some of the things that they could do, I don't know how to explain it. I can't explain it. But they've also dedicated their entire lives to perfecting a certain craft and feat, right? So when you see them walking on parchment paper that's been stretched out and they tap from one to one, it's like, okay, how does this even remotely possible? I can't explain it. When they do things that's physiologically amazing, like one finger push-ups on that little tiny joint, or taking the kicks to the groin or whatever, yeah, there's some awesome aspects to it with the internal energy. And I do believe that if you can harness your chi and you can blast it into somebody, it's going to be pretty damn deadly. The problem is that almost all of that, sans maybe one instance. I did see the one Buddhist monk, allegedly, that got into the ring, and he's just standing there while that other kickboxer's just blasting him 20 times like nothing's happening. I do believe that's authentic, but there's a lot of context in the mysticism of Kung Fu that does not apply in real fighting. And especially with us, right, as far as Westerners or even people in Europe, do you have 40, 60, 80 years to dedicate yourself to solely perfecting one little thing every single day so that when you're 80 years old, you could sit there and just form that punch and Hadouken and just sit there and blast it out? I don't have that kind of time. I got to work. I got to run businesses. I got to live life. I do Wing Chun for the enjoyment of the art. And yeah, God forbid I ever need to fight. It's going to be a bad day for whoever decides they want to engage with me, right? But that's that. I don't believe it's practical to be able to call on the mysticism of Eastern ways, store up that energy in your dantian and then instantly fire it in you're going to get your ass laid out. It's just not possible, right? So we're talking internal energy, and I think one of the worst things that you can do, now again, I'm not discrediting it. Let's take the forums. Gosh, the martial arts forums are the worst place in the world, but we all love them. Don't take that I'm saying that internal energy does not exist. 100% I believe it exists. I really do. I just do not think that in the instant that you can call upon it in a rapidly evolving, high-stress, intense fight, that you can call upon that like that, channel it at will. Somebody can? Sure. I don't think the common person can. So I'm going through social media, and I want to showcase two forms, one of which is obviously going to be the Ip Man form. But please, I know I'm going to butcher this one. This is on the Wing Chun News Group. I don't know if it's Ivalo or Ivalo. I'm sorry, I don't mean to mispronounce your first name. Krastenov. And this is a form he posted the other day on the Wing Chun forum or the Wing Chun News Group. And let's just look at this for a second. Just looking at his form. It's a little different, sequential, movement-wise, than the one I do. But I didn't care about that. What I cared about was looking at him doing this form and then watching the comments. You're too tense. It's too fast. All the typical garbage you get. I want to point something out. I fully support this way the guy's just doing this form because, believe it or not, he's not tense. If you know anything about musculature, you can see, look at the little rising and the sinking from his waist when he winds up doing the form. His shoulders are not tense. His biceps are not flexed. He's got tension in the elbow and the wrist when he's doing the movement, and definitely the hips. So I want to point this out for a second. Watch when he goes at the double lansao movement. His hands are relaxed. If they weren't relaxed, if they were flexed, his hands wouldn't have any give to him. You gotta watch this. Is he doing this section? Yeah. Watch. Here we go. Look at that. You see the little vibrational shake in his hands? So I looked at that for a second, and I want to give this props because I love the energetics, and I honestly think this guy is so well rooted, and I do believe that he's got all that control in his hips that if he hits you, you're fucking gonna feel it. I want to comment on that first. That was the first what do you call it? The first catalyst for why I wanted to go this direction. Now let's get to the bad news. You're new in Wing Chun. You're online all the time. You're looking at stuff, and your Sifu wants you to wind up watching the infamous Ip Man videos, right? The Ip Man first form, second form, wooden dummy form. I want to talk about this for a second, and it's, you know what? I really don't care the fallout I'm going to get for this. So many people constantly do reference these, I think these were 8mm videos of Ip Man doing the first form, second form at wooden dummy. And they do it. I mean, it is a carbon copy paste. It is their gospel. It is everything. And they go through these movements exactly the same way he did. Everything. I want to pose something to the viewer for discernment. This is why, although I respect the fact that this man did it, I'm going to plant some seeds that maybe you'll think on your own for. A couple different things. Over the years of my study of Chinese martial arts, it was kind of always told to me that, you know what, the Chinese did not like the Westerners, or Guaylo, is that what we are, knowing their traditions. And I always thought, if the rumor is that part of the reason Bruce Lee was eliminated from his Wing Chun class was the fact, I believe he was a quarter white or American or whatever, that was reason for it. Why would a Chinese man who is like the grand dame of Wing Chun put valuable, valid information on a recording that the white man could potentially get a hold of? So I've always wondered, maybe did they ever teach us wrong to a degree? It's always been a thought of mine, right? Like if you got William Chung out there, who everyone knows I'm not a fan of, and William Chung's Wing Chun, it's never looked real to me. But he's got the traditional, authentic, you can't say traditional Wing Chun without copywriting, infringing on his stuff, right? I've always wondered, did William Chung teach thousands of people the wrong way? Whatever. I'm going to get that in a second. The other thing is I want you to keep this in mind. I'm going to jump to the wooden dummy section here. I want you to watch this. As he's doing the wooden dummy, let's look at something for a second. He's going to get into this. And this I hope plants a seed in your mind. Maybe I need to rethink things I'm doing. As he's doing the wooden dummy, this is a great side view of him. I want you to watch at the end of every section. Almost at the end of almost every section, they stop the video. See, he stops to reset himself. He goes to the next one. There's going to be times where they cut the video to move on to the next frame. Does the movements. There's the inside. Look at that. Stops, resets himself. Looks at the camera, pauses, then it cuts to another one. Those Pak Saos are labored slaps at the dummy arms. Look at that. Okay. He's got to pick his pants up to kick. Dai bong. Yeah, look at that. Look at it. Kicks pants. All right. Let's go to yep. Resets. We keep going. I want to pose this thought. This was filmed in 1972, I believe. He died in 1972 of throat cancer. He was 79 years old. So everybody who's going to take these videos as more than respect, this should be a respect thing. The man perpetuated something. Again, there's another cut going on in the next one. He was on his deathbed. He was 5'4". If he weighs 80 pounds there, I would be shocked. The man's struggling to keep his head up. He's got, look, I mean, the curvature in his neck is insane. He can't breathe while doing the form. Look, he's got to stop. He's winded. This is something that we really need to acknowledge if we're actually going to be taken seriously moving forward in Wing Chun. This is a film that should be based on respect only, and it should not be based off of you doing your form. I question the sequence in which he stops here again. He could barely breathe. He needs a breather. I question, did the sequence get right? I don't know if anybody's ever seen a cancer patient or been around a cancer patient. There's a lot going on in their minds that they struggle with. So, I watched today, I was watching that guy's Krastenov's video, and people were, somebody was talking about a Chusong Tin video, but I was like, you know what? Let's talk about the Ip Man video for a second, because this has always been a massive bone of contention with mine, where people say that they need to do it just like Ip Man. I'm going to tell you, if you think that this man at his deathbed at 79 years old had any kind of internal power, that anybody could have knocked him over with a stiff breeze, could have just knocked him over. So I really want Wing Chun to find value in the fighting world and not just the world of mysticism and fantasy fu. And until we start taking things seriously and saying, listen, you cannot lean on this as the gospel truth. This was a very sick man who was about to die from cancer. I believe his family wanted to get his legacy on video because it's new at that stage. Who knows? Maybe it could have been to discredit or I don't know what his relationship was like with Bruce Lee or what Bruce Lee was talking about, but maybe Ip Man was like, oh, let's get this on video so that my sons will continue on this authority and they can lay claim to me, being the patriarch of Wing Chun instead of Bruce Lee stepping in because of his influence. Bottom line, sorry, I don't want to be the asshole, but I will. The Ip Man videos, first form, second form, and the wooden dummy, they're not the way you should model. They will ruin your Wing Chun if you wind up focusing all of your movements, your energy, or anything on that, and you can't see. I'm sorry. You cannot see internal energy from someone. Even though I gave credits to Krastenov's video, yeah, you could see his musculature, the lack of tension in it. You could see all that energy is going to his lower half between his hips and his core. When you could, the biggest indicator for me was the give, the flop in his fingers when he comes back to the double lancao position. If he was stiff, his fingers would have no movement whatsoever, which would be an indicator that his tension is in his hands, focus in his hands, not where it should be. And if you know anything about musculature, you could see guy's not flexing his shoulders, not flexing his lats, he's not flexing his chest, he's not flexing his bicep. He just happens to be really well fucking built. So his muscles are going to stand out. But when we come back to the I don't know what you want to call it, but this mysticism, fantasy fu, and you read the comment section if you're in that group, it needs to be done slower, needs to be done softer, more relaxed. This is the shit that will get you in trouble in a fight. This is, I hate to tell you this, but a lot of people who have professional sifus for a living, don't forget, their job is to keep you paying tuition every month so that you'll keep coming back because that's how they make their living. So when you wind up spreading the mysticism for the showcasing, the demonstrations, the intro lessons, it looks great in the classroom. But when you go to another YouTuber's channel and they're insulting Wing Chun, they're right. Because you can't make what works in that classroom work in their gym when they're actually trading hits for a training every single day. Hope that makes sense. It's not meant to be disrespectful, but it's meant to wake people up. We have to do better in this art. We have to sit there and acknowledge the things that work and the things that don't work, pay homage and respect. I do respect that film because without it, where the hell would I be, right? But at the same time, too, I will never have my students watch that form and say, study it. Study it. You see the way he's doing? He's out of fucking breath half the time. The man's 2 weeks from his deathbed, so we don't know what was going on with his brain that was riddled from cancer. So we have to do better. I hate to be the one that says this, but it is what it is. That's it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit that thanks button. We rely on your support. We love your support. You guys have a great damn day. See you in the next video.